The laughter was still echoing when I slipped outside. It clung to me, that brittle, sharp kind of laughter, the kind that wasn't born of joy, but cruelty disguised as festivity. I could still see it. Her sister with the bow-wrapped keys to the brand new BMW. Their father raising his glass. The whole room erupting in applause. Then the gift to me, small, folded, a $2 bill taped to a t-shirt with now jobless stitched across the chest like a scar. They laughed hardest when my wife did. I smiled once, a hollow curve of my mouth, then left before my silence became a scene. Outside, the night was sharp, breath frosting against the windshield as I started the car. The engine purred steady, unlike me. In my pocket, my phone vibrated, a single notification, the one I had been waiting for all week. I didn't open it, not yet. Instead, I drove away from the music, the lights, the family that was never mine, but always owned me. I left them behind for now. It hadn't started tonight. It started with the subtle things. The way she flinched when I touched her shoulder. The locked screen. She never tilted toward me. The sudden perfume of cologne that wasn't mine lingering in her clothes. I told myself it was nothing, that she was tired, that marriage wears thin. But truth doesn't whisper forever. It scratches claws and cysts. So I tested it quietly, a toothbrush in her purse when she claimed she stayed late at work. Uber receipts to addresses that weren't her office. Nights when her phone battery miraculously died the second she walked through our door. And then the slip, her father's secretary too drunk at a dinner, murmuring, "Congratulations to her for keeping it in the family." That phrase buried itself in me. I dug, and the more I dug, the clearer it became. The affair wasn't with a stranger. It was with someone seated across from me every holiday. Someone who bore the same last name she did, her sister's fiancé. It was grotesque, efficient, betrayal folded neatly within blood and loyalty. I said nothing. I collected instead. DNA swabs from water glasses, emails pulled from her forgotten tablet, a camera angled low in the garage where she thought shadows were enough to hide them. I didn't confront her, not yet. Confrontation is for the weak. Revelation is for the patient. The week before Christmas, the results came back. DNA doesn't lie. And the test confirmed what suspicion already whispered. Her secret wasn't just the affair. It was blood. The child she claimed was ours was not. He was her sister's fiancé's. I looked at the printed sheet under the sterile light of my office. Percentages, markers, scientific detachment describing what my gut had screamed for months. I folded the paper once, slid it into an envelope, and tucked it into my coat pocket. Life went on around me, meetings, coffee, smiles, a kiss on the cheek that tasted like dust. I let her think she still lived in her illusion. I drove her to dinners, to stores, to parties. I listened as she lied through her teeth, convincing herself she was convincing me. Every time her phone lit up, I memorized the rhythm of her fingers locking it away. Every time she laughed with her sister, I measured the pitch. I smiled. I nodded. I collected more. Patience was my weapon, silence my armor. And tonight the stage was finally set. The party roared inside, ribbons and champagne drowning the air. She was radiant, standing beside her sister as their father handed over the keys. Then came my gift, the $2 bill, the shirt, the laughter. I accepted it, masked, silent, and then I left. In the car, under the frozen breath of December, I opened the email that had been waiting all night. A scheduled release timed perfectly. One click, and the file was sent not to her, not to him, not to the family directly, to the press, to the company board, to the investors who believed in the family's pristine image. DNA reports, surveillance footage, phone records, every polished lie stripped down to raw evidence. I didn't need to shout, I only needed to wait. And when her father's voice finally cracked through the night, carried by the memory of the window left ajar, "Turn on the news," I knew the blow had landed. The footage ran on every screen in the room, muted but clear. My wife, her sister's fiancé, dates, times, the garage camera catching hands, mouths, clothes undone, the DNA results laid side by side with birth certificates, the child, the lie. Their father's face drained of color, investors' calls already lighting up his phone. Her sister stood frozen, glass slipping from her hand, and my wife, her laughter gone, replaced with the soundless horror of recognition. I wasn't there to watch. I was already gone. But I knew how the silence fell. I knew how quickly celebration rotted into scandal. I knew she'd look for me, search the crowd, want to plead, but pleading needs an audience, and I had left them none. The car hummed steady beneath me, loyal where flesh had failed. I thought of her, not with love, not with rage, just with the clarity that betrayal brings. They had taken me for the fool, the jester, the scapegoat. But fools don't write endings. I did. And when the company collapsed under scandal, when her father's empire cracked, when her sister's wedding dissolved into ash, they would remember the silence I carried out the door. Not anger, not tears, just the absence of me. And that absence would haunt louder than any words I could have spoken. I didn't need them pale-faced to know I'd won. I only needed the road ahead, clean and endless. I pressed the accelerator and I never looked back.